Hi, what up guys? We're here with a new video. Now this one is a little more off topic of the quarter. Now my dad is working on his car, so we may have to push the quarter back maybe a week, but we did get something out of a quarter the other day from another car, which is our wheel house, to go ahead and go in right here whenever we're ready, and then we'll go ahead and get that done soon. That won't be this video, but that's good progress for us, and that's a whole wheelhouse right there. But now we are going to actually be sanding a hood scoop on a 1970 God, I can't even talk, 1970 Mach 1, and I'm going to end up painting that one. It won't be anything crazy, but we'll go ahead and get into it. So this is the hood scoop we have right here. Now I'm gonna work on it with 320. We don't want to go with anything crazy. This is fiberglass, so we also have to be careful, but we'll continue to try and get all these chips out. As you can see, or little cracks, and we'll go ahead and this can go in a paint booth to get painted. Alright, so it looks like we got it pretty decent now. I'll go ahead and, well, we won't blow it off yet, but now I'll go ahead and with hand sanding, because we gotta get these little edges and these cracks I can't really get into with this block. Some of them I can, and they're not really cracks, there's cracks in the paint though, not the actual fiberglass. So now I'll go ahead and get a scuff pad, or not a scuff pad, but 320 on hand, and we'll continue through. And on a hand sanding. No, he's got all these cracks right here.
Well, what are you going to do with that?
Sand it down.
Those aren't cracks in the paint, that's cracks in the plastic.
No, that's cracks in the paint. Right there.
Why don't you have it on a fucking DA?
I mean, I can. I just didn't want to mess with fiberglass with DA. I don't know if I do.
It's all about the grit of your sandpaper.
All right, and DA we go. Alright, now we'll go further into it. We'll see how we like this so far. Now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get these out. I still got to kind of figure that out. Just for a fact of it starting to, obviously it's going to start getting into the fiberglass. And that's where I have to be concerned if I can get these cracks out or not. So I'll have to figure that out, and then we'll continue on. Alright, so we're just going to continue to sand this out and just go with it. It seems that it's working better than DA for me, just using this block, because I can just gauge it better. But we'll continue on with block and just kind of get what we can. It's raining. We might be out of this one.
That's why I wanted to paint it with the gun, dude.
Well, I'm getting all these cracks.
Dude. DA on the flat spots.
Well, I did, but
DA.
Yeah, I'll DA the rest of this. I'm just getting these cracks out, all your cracks out for you. So
Yeah, that's all you really need to do is work the cracks out and then just yeah, it don't have to be. It's just got to be smooth.
All right, that should be good. Now I'll go ahead and get y'all a closer look. Actually, I'll go ahead and move y'all. So this is a closer look at it, as you can see. Now right here, I still have to get, which is some cracks. But this is kind of just the whole thing in general. And we got a lot of these cracks that were right here out. So now I'll go ahead and end this. And we'll go ahead and go into the paint booth. But let me go ahead and finish this up, and I'll show you the final product as well. Alright guys, so I'll go ahead and show you the final product. So this was it. Now this is it all done. As you can see, we got, you know, as best we can, all these nooks and crannies. But looks like this is ready. Even got as much a little bit underneath as we can. But I think that'll look good. I think it'll turn out well. So now, oh god. Well, that could have been bad. But anyways, now we'll go ahead and put that in the paint booth. We'll go ahead and get in painting it. Alright, what up y'all? We're still here with the save episode. This is the next day. Or is this the next day? No, 2 days after. Now, the problem that we have with this hood scoop now is the fact that we started sanding, or not sanding it. So I get this wax and grease remover from Tamco. And I don't understand what happened with it, but it's a little too aggressive trying to stick too much and peel off the paint. So now we're gonna have to re-sand the scoop, or part of the scoop, to make sure we're all good. But we'll continue on with this episode. Today we will be painting the scoop, and it's going with a flat clear. Now, let me go ahead and show you our paint booth, because I already know what you're about to say about this. And this is the paint booth that we're gonna have it in. And I already know what the first comment is. Why are you painting it when the booth's dirty? Well, that is a fair comment. But if we stir up the dust right now by sweeping, we will have a lot of trash in the paint. And since it's such a small little piece, we're just gonna try our best and hope that nothing comes up or no trash gets in it. But I already know what that question was gonna be. Okay, anyways, I already knew that was gonna be a question or something that was said. So I was just making sure it's clarified. Anyways, now let's go ahead and get into it. All we're gonna do is kind of scuff up the scoop, get that sticky stuff off, and we'll go right into paint. All right, and all we're gonna be doing is using a scuff pad. Now, I'm just gonna do it right here because, you know, we're already here. It won't take long. And it's still starting to scuff up, which I don't like. Looks like we might have to get some paper to scuff this. Yeah, it looks like I'll actually have to get some sandpaper and try and scuff this. Still trying to stick a little bit. So we'll go ahead and go back into that. All right, back to it. So now we're just gonna use this. It's such a small piece. I'm not even gonna use any type of protection as well. And we did forget a spot that I'm gonna have to get right here. Let's see if I can get that real quick. Okay. Oh God. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and check and make sure everything is good, which I think we are. Okay, and I think we got everything. I think we're all good. And I'll go ahead and blow this off, and I'll go ahead and get into us painting. We'll go ahead and use a different type of wax and grease for this. Alright, and this is it blown off. And this is probably one of the more sketchy things I'm doing. Now, I think we'll be alright, but just so we can get underneath here without it being on this right here, I go ahead and lift it up with blocks, a couple blocks, so that we can get all the way around it safely. And obviously I'll have to wax and grease as well, but I'll go ahead and set y'all up so y'all can watch us wax and grease this and go ahead and get into it. Alright, and this is Windex, essentially, or glass cleaner. And we're essentially using, we kind of mix it with alcohol and this. Now, wax and grease we usually do get, but I was the last one to buy this wax and grease, and obviously it's failing us. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. It should do essentially the same thing. Maybe not as strong, but it'll still help us out pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and just get over this area where, you know, we just went back over the whole thing in general, actually, just to make sure we're good and on the safe side. Now it does look like there might be a couple spots we're still missing that I need to go get the sandpaper back out for, but it won't be anything crazy. Alright, y'all won't be able to hear me very well, and if y'all can, good job. But anyways, so now this is the clear that we're gonna use. It's a flat clear, and I'm gonna have to mix this up now. If you can see, I mean, that don't look good at all. But once we mix it up, it'll be fine. And we already got our hardener over here, our activator. So now, for me, I'll go ahead and show y'all a video. I'll go ahead and get all this mixed up, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray this lacquer thinner out this gun, and we'll go ahead and roll in the paint. I already waxed and greased it, so we're ready to go. All right, so we'll go ahead and mix this up. Now, is this gonna be the part we're using? No. We have the actual base coat here, but we still need to mix this up just so it's ready whenever we go in to clear. And it shouldn't be too long. Now, this hasn't been mixed in probably years, so it's gonna be a pain in the butt to kind of get all of this ready, or get all of it moving, at least. But now, we'll go ahead and fast forward through. I'll continue to mix this up, and then we'll get ready for some actual painting. Alright, so a little bit to take from that video is this gun is not shooting right, and obviously it was not cleaned properly. So now I have to go through all of this. I mean, I'll have to go through this whole gun again. So I'm just going to use lacquer thinner, and I'll grab some in a second, pour it in this cup, and we'll disassemble and have to clean every part of this gun again. Alright, I went ahead and turned off the fan just for right now while we're doing this, so I can explain it a little better. So obviously, as you can see, well, I kind of wiped off now, but the front of it is definitely a lot more white. And I could just tell by how it was spraying. It obviously was not spraying correctly, and not the way we wanted. So now we'll go ahead and disassemble it, and you start off by taking this cap off right here. And then you stow it in there. And then you can also take these off as well. These caps right here, and the spring will come out. And then you pull this tube out right here, and it'll start dripping now. Some paint in the cup. But that'd be okay, because the lacquer thinner is just going to dissolve all of it. But, and then now there'll be a centerpiece right here, if you can see. Hold on. If you can see that, this is centerpiece. And now you have to kind of go with it and find the shape it is first, or whatever tool it is. Which I think it's this, yeah. And then you'll have to take these off, which you don't want to over tighten these. These are a pain to get off and will strip easy. But then I'll just drop this right in here. And then now we'll use one of these little whisk kind of. I don't even know what you would call this. But now we'll go ahead and use this and dip it in here. Or this is what I do. And I'll go ahead and start cleaning the inside of this out. As very good and very clean, the best I can. And I'll go ahead and spray it back over with lacquer thinner. and a lot of it will start to go out. What I decide to do now, since that is happening, I'll get this and kind of tie it up into like kind of a funnel, or kind of just like a, you know, toothpick kind of. I don't know how you explain it. But then I just push it all the way down here. And it should dry the inside of it. And then I get around the edges right here as well. Boom. So the inside of it, if you can see, looks a little better. To be honest, there was nothing really wrong with that side. But you always want to clean everything if you're going ahead and cleaning the gun, just to be on the safe side. So I'll go ahead and get inside this now. And I'll spray that out with lacquer thinner as well. Boom. So, and then you can always also use the same thing for this, which is, you know, the same method, and just kind of throw it in there as well. Boom. And it should be okay now. Now we'll continue on to other stuff. Now this is still important, this piece right here, but it gets, just usually a tip gets dirty. And all you have to do is put some lacquer thinner on it and just kind of go right over it. And then I'll drop this back down over here. And then we'll reach in, continue reaching for our next stuff. Now this wasn't meant to drop, I guess. I just didn't notice I did. And I think we're all good there. Okay, and then this is what I'm assuming is the problem, which is the main cap of it all. And I don't know, oh, it's in here. And I'm assuming this is the problem, is trying to spray weird right there. And I need to go ahead and clean this really well. And for me, now, me and my dad do it completely two different ways. Now, not cleaning the gun, but for when it comes to actually cleaning the parts, like we clean it the same way, but I always go back over it with air. And I go ahead and spray in every little nook and cranny of it just to make sure that any dirt is out. Which neither method is good nor bad. But for me, I feel like the air just makes it feel a little more safer to me. But you always want to make sure your gun is clean as well. Just kind of going over all of it. Okay, and that looks a little better. And then now we'll continue on. As for the spring, that isn't really as important either. You just kind of go back over it and dry it off, and you're done after that. And then same for the cap as well. That doesn't really affect anything. But always make sure, like I said, keep all your stuff clean. Alright, and then this could also be the problem as well, which is another entry point, or what gets clogged a lot. You do essentially the same thing. Just grab one of these little wire brushes, poke them in there, and kind of, you know, go back and forth inside there. And then clean the top as well. Okay, and I do the same thing as well. Just kind of funnel this up or twist it up. And then that may be too big. Hold on. Yep, and then now I'll kind of throw it in there. If I can. Oh God. Oh gosh. Okay, and then you can look in there as well. Now you won't be able to see, but I think it looks a little better. Now I'll go ahead and grab our blow-off gun, and I'll go ahead and blow out all of these and make sure they're all good. Okay, and then I'll just use this, and I'll just go over everything. and we should be good. Now, that's just the way I do it. And then now we'll go through the exact same process again. I'll go ahead and try to assemble all this back together. So you'll see there's a little spot down there, if you can see that. I don't know if you can, but a little spot you plug into this pin right here. Boom. And I'll go ahead and throw, well, actually you're not supposed to do any of this, but, or wait, I'm not speaking right. Okay. You don't have to do this, but it's preferred to go ahead and put in the pin and the spring first, because it'll be a lot harder and you'll find yourself in a lot harder of a situation after you've installed this in. So now I'll go ahead and screw this on. And I need to clean it again, it looks like. All right, cool. And then now I'll use this, go ahead and slide it past this pin right here and start screwing it down. Then we'll come back with this and just kind of snug it. And then now back with this. And boom, there we go. Now it's cleaned again. Now, if it doesn't work this time or it isn't working better, then I'm just trash the cleaning. Don't listen to any of this. So now I'll go ahead and shoot some more lacquer thinner out of it, and we'll go ahead and get back to painting. You know what, guys? I genuinely just thought of it, and I'm having a rough day. I didn't even use a strainer, and that is one of the #1 mistakes when coming to paint, and there could have definitely been the reason why we just struggled. So, we're gonna have to go ahead and get a new paint cup. We'll try again, because what am I doing? Wait, I did use a strainer, didn't I? I'm so confused, man. Alright, same thing. Go ahead and take this back off. Now let's pull this right back in. Cool, now I just wasted a cup. So, that actually upsets me a decent bit, but it is what it is. Rather be safe than sorry. Good, so now we're ready to go back in the paint booth. So, this, if you can see, is from before. This is just now. That's a much different pattern and a lot stronger. It should cover a lot better now. Also, I already know what you're going to ask again as well. Why am I not using tack cloths? I can use tack cloths, but right now it's just such a small piece. I doubt really we're going to have that much trash. But anyways, I'll set y'all back up. We'll go ahead and keep going. So that was a lot better coverage. Now we're gonna keep going coat by coat. We don't want to run anything. I'm a little concerned at how it's gonna come out. Fiberglass is weird when it comes to that stuff because any little sanding you do, it'll show up. So hopefully we'll be all right. We'll see how it goes. But there's a lot better coverage. Hopefully clear can help us as well. And I did see a spider try and come out from underneath it. Hopefully don't get in our paint. So we'll wait another 10 minutes now for flash time, and then we'll go right back in. So this is not going as planned. So if you can see right here, it's starting to blister up, if you can see. Now we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on here. If I had to say, either I had poor prep work, or the wax and grease is pulling up on it still, but not the look we're looking for. And I'm gonna have to wait and let that sit and sand it tomorrow because, you know, that's obviously not acceptable. So we'll go ahead and see what we can do tomorrow. I'll continue on this video and then we'll have this edited now by Wednesday. All right, guys, we're continuing on our episode from yesterday. Today we are going to be still working on the hood scoop, and we're gonna sand it all the way down so that we can paint it today as well. Hopefully we can get this done quickly. I do have work today. but we'll go ahead and DA this, and it should, I hope, come off easy, and we'll go ahead and get into painting it. So, take 2, let's see what happens. All right, guys, take 2. Alright, so I feel we're gonna go with a different approach. So what I'm gonna do on this is now I'm gonna go into 180 instead, actually. I'm gonna put a little primer on this just for a fact of I don't want all this to be uneven. So we'll go into 180 with this on DA, and it'll cut a lot quicker. And it shouldn't be that big of a deal, so we'll go ahead and switch to it. Alright, so now we're gonna go with a different type of like machine. Like that's DA. We're gonna go with a block thing that just, you know, goes back and forth. I don't know how to explain it. But the DA is still starting to clog up, obviously, so I'm gonna go with something a little more aggressive now. Alright, and this is our tool, and hopefully this will help us out a little more and it won't stick to each other as much. Okay, so it seems that helped us out a lot. Now we'll start to try and get right here as well, but that'll be a lot from up here. I also have to get tiny little spots and little cracks and crevices, but that made a lot of progress for us. Okay, now we'll go into block. Should make it easier. Alright, I think we should be ready for hand. There's still a couple parts that are really iffy on it, but I think we're getting a lot of progress. I think the majority of the top's done. Now it's just getting into little cracks and crevices. Alright, and for hand. and we'll DA this little spot right here. But after that, we should be able to get the rest of the final touchings with this. We'll have to put a new paper on the DA, but it looks like we're getting really close. It looks like it should be done within the next couple minutes. Alright, and now we'll go over it with the scuff pad or 320. It should be pretty easy, but it looks like we got every nook and cranny. I'll go ahead and blow it off to show you what we're going to do, or what it looks like, and then we'll put it in the primer. And for scuff pad. Alright, and now I'll blow it off, and let's go in the primer. Alright, and this is what it looks like done. Now we'll go ahead and get into the paint booth now, and we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like primered. Alright y'all, if y'all can hear me, now we're going to be using some Tamco primer right here. And we'll mix 4 1-to-1, and it'll go in this cup right here. We'll go ahead and strain it, put it in the gun, and I'll go ahead and show you all the final result of it all. Alright guys, so this is it after primer. Now, I think that it'll be pretty decent. I don't see anything that's really blistering up, so I think we'll be good with that. No blistering up, so I think we'll be able to sand this down tomorrow, which we will. We'll get right on it tomorrow, sand it down. We need this done by Saturday. Sand this down, and we should be able to go into paint tomorrow, hopefully. But there's some progress. Now, it's not great progress, but tomorrow will be a big day. It's going to be painting that, plus getting the Fox bodies wheel well cut out, the old one, and going ahead and getting all that done. So, I'll continue this episode on to tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and get it done and have it edited out by tomorrow. Alright guys, we're here with the next day, and now we're going straight into paint. Now it's going to be using this again. Wait, wrong thing, it's in the cabinet. But using that again with reducer, and then we'll go into it with a flat clear. But I'll go ahead and show you all the final result because I don't want to get the camera messed up in the paint booth with paint. So I'll show you the final result after it's done. Alright guys, this might be our most epic fail by far. If y'all can see, it's the same thing again. It's just sitting here trying to blister up everywhere on the panel. And I really don't know what we can do to try and make that not stop except for continue trying sand. There's a couple of spots where, you know, well, majority of the panel where it isn't like that, but the whole top of it is all blistered up. So I don't know, we're gonna have to do some more thinking, try and figure this out, but by far this has been my most epic fail. So I'll go ahead and get this out, and then we'll continue on with the next couple of days if we decide to, you know, how we're gonna fix it. So see y'all later.